script, lot of city owner told me is the coward. It's the show you gotta see, Tommy Temper is the guy. Ask yourself the question why. Conspiracy theories swirl round, trolls are everywhere, they abound. They abound. It's the show you gotta see, Tommy Temper is the guy. Ask yourself the question why. Conspiracy theories swirl round, trolls are everywhere, they abound. They abound. It's the show you gotta see, Tommy Temper is the guy.
Oh my. We're back. We're back again. Yeah. We're here for the win. Edward Cam with the BLM. I'm surprised you're not saying Antifa, Edward Cam. Yeah, what's happening with the Antifa organization down in the States, at least? I know it's still going well up here in Canada. AP's Cat, good to see you. Who are you attacking today? Oh, is it Queenie or DOA or who? Carrie's Outdoor Adventures. Hey, glad to see you're getting the notifications. Very good, very good. Oh yeah, I should have that speech chat turned on here. Forgot all about that. But we'll leave it off for a little bit here. Good to see everyone in there. I was just kind of piddling around here. Just kind of piddling around here pretty much in the morning, and now that it's already 38 or something in the afternoon. I thought I'd go live here before youngins get home here. So just say hi to you and give you a little update as to what's happening. I did go live there yesterday and all, but we had some action happening with the bird call, the ostrich call up here in Canada. If you saw that ostrich show, I should play Trump's UN speech. Yeah, I know. I saw his speech there. I actually liked it. I thought it was pretty good. Excellent. With the First Nations, so the tide has turned. Apparently the First Nations showed up, and the execution of nearly 400 healthy ostriches is now stopped. It's not going to happen. Well, at least temporarily, like, hey, leave it to the government to, pretty much keep it going or whatever, or keep fighting it, because you have to make sure that those ostriches die. But yeah, thank you to the First Nations. Thank you to Canadians who shared this story. Thank you to independent media. Yeah, together we made a difference. We'll show you the story on that right away here. It was actually quite the eventful situation. And let's go in with that story here right away. We've got who else in here? Well, yeah, we got a few people popping in here now. Nothing bad can happen. It can only good happen. President Trump. Yeah, well, they shut off the escalator on him, so he had to walk up the escalator at the UN there, and then they shut off his teleprompter. So yeah, they were trying to piss off Trump there right away. But he did a pretty good job of his speech just right off of the cuff. In fact, it was probably maybe more impacting, doing it off of the cuff instead of reading it off the teleprompter. Yeah, we've got Carrie's Musings in there. Hey, good to see you. Yeah, went over and saw Trooper there. Trooper was live again there. He sounded like he was low on funds or something like that. So we super chatted him 5-note there. So I hope he can. Well, the problem with super chat is it takes a bit of time to get it, but regardless, Curly May in there coming in on Facebook. Hey, Curly May Q, good to see you. Thanks for chiming in. Got Edward Cam in there, and he loves going off the teleprompter. Hey, he's actually pretty good. Some people, like, imagine Biden. If the teleprompter would have failed on Biden, it would have been you know, it wouldn't have been great. That's for all. That's for sure. Sonia G, hey, good to see you. Coming in on YouTube. Big ups to you. Thank you very much for chiming in. Got more people popping in here all the time. Yeah, but I'm just gonna do a short show here today. It's 1:40 now ish. It'll be about an hour long show we'll be able to do here. And I got delivered to me a new e-bike, a new electric bike. So I'm gonna go outside in about an hour, and I'm kind of excited because it came in from UPS. UPS delivered it. It came in a small box about this big, and then a big box with the rest of the bike in it. So I'm kind of excited to go and assemble that bike and go for a ride on it there today if I can. Hopefully the battery's all charged up, that kind of thing. We've got a beautiful day in there. Hey, ABD, good to see you. Nice to see you in the chat. And yeah, more people will be piling in here as the show goes on. Let's start it off here with this clip about the ostriches. This is a letter that was received from the First Nations. This is from the Aboriginal Canadians that are, you know, on that land. They're on that land, the Aboriginal land, and they are now chiming into the bird situation. They don't want to see the bird. I had some yogurt here. Now I'm starting to hiccup here, a burp or something. So excuse me. Excuse me if I throw up on air. You know, it might happen. You never know. But anyways, we'll bring you the first piece here on the show. This is the ostrich. What's happening with the ostriches?
As of last night, we've been taken on under the signatory Indian tribe for protection. And so I just want, if you guys can please, this needs to go to the higher ups. And the ostriches and our land is now under the protection of the signatory tribe, Indian tribe. And we met with them last night. So this is a cease and desist.
Native Indian.
The signatory Indian tribe.
As opposed to East Indian.
Thank you.
All right, Katie, tell us a little bit more about what's in your hand there.
So we were able to meet with an amazing gentleman that sees the abuse that is happening. As of last night, we've been taken on under the signatory Indian tribe for protection. And so I just want, if you guys can please, this needs to go to the higher ups.
So it's just a replay of the whole thing there. So anyways, a bit of a stay of execution happening. And it looks like the RCMP, a little bit of a frown on their face there. They're not good to see that because they're out there, you know, busting their ass, trying to make sure that the birds get slaughtered. And now it's not going to happen. So it's going to be more time to see what's going to happen. Now, I'm not 100% sure on what's going on here, but something is being sent to the government. Obviously, this is a letter sent to the people right on site there. But it's probably going to end up going to some kind of a court or, you know, some judges somewhere, you know, at a federal level are going to be looking it over and deciding on whether or not that is going to be able to, you know, they can stop running pipelines. You know, the natives are pretty powerful in Canada. Whatever happens on their land, they kind of pretty much have final say with a pipeline or electrical wires or a road or anything like that. They blockade roads all the time. They blockade rail lines and all kind of stuff like that. You know, and the federal government really just sits there and their hands are tied. They can't do a whole bunch with it. So we'll see what happens with that. But anyways, for now, the ostriches still are breathing another life. They're still alive, and we'll see what happens to the poor ostriches. Carol Devlin in there. I'm awake. Yeah, I'm awake. I'm still here. Yeah, sorry I didn't do. Yeah, exactly. I was getting tired. Well, hey, that was like about a 9-hour stream or something like that I did the last time. And yeah, I was like starting to fall asleep already because I get up sometimes like at about 6 o'clock in the morning. And, you know, I get up so early, and then sometimes I just, you know, have a little nap or something like that in the middle of the afternoon. just because you've already, not had a whole bunch of sleep at night because you get up so early. And even like today, I got up it was 6:40, I think I got up today. And I was, messing around, watching a bunch of YouTubes and subbing up to some new channels and stuff like that, watching some interesting stuff. There was one really interesting thing that I watched, and it was, I don't know if I can find it here. Hang on. Let me just go back and just see whether or not I can actually find the whole thing. But it was a really interesting swimming match that went on. And the guy that won, and he won by a really long amount, a really long, let's see. Oh, yeah, I was doing a lot. I'm just going back on a whole bunch of streams that I was looking at here. And
look at that.
Watching a bunch of stuff on Ukraine and Russia, drone flights and stuff like that. And watching a girl in Russia, and she was at a gas station or actually she went to a couple of gas stations.
Or a man.
And she didn't know why why they were out of gas. And actually where she was, the gas prices were actually quite expensive.
But then I'm
and sorry for the background noise here.
At what point?
Oh, actually, let me get that volume down there. But yeah, I watched one in particular where this guy, it was a swimming event, an indoor swimming event. And I think it was maybe at a, I don't know, high school level or something like that. But anyways, the guy that actually won the swimming event, he was so excited that he jumped up, and you know how they have these floaties in between the lanes, eh? And he sat on the floaty and went on the other side of the floaty, whatever. And for doing that, they actually disqualified him. And oh man, was he ever disappointed. So look for that story in the news if you have a chance. I was watching some Antifa stuff here, though. That was the other thing that I have in my thing here. And Antifa, check this out. There's this thing called Eugene Weekly. It's a magazine in Eugene, Oregon. Like, this is how bad Antifa is. And these guys, they don't care. And they're getting arrested all over the place. Antifa is being deemed a terrorist organization by Donald Trump in the United States. And this is the Eugene Weekly magazine. And if you look close here, the magazine says, as Trump administration attacks trans people, some queer folks are armed and ready to bash back. So are you triggered? Are you triggered? So yeah, apparently the Antifa folks, as they like to say, are really ready for Trump there. And as it looks, she has got a gun right there. And if you know anything, I've been digging into this a little bit, but the whole Antifa thing is based around taking over the government and overthrowing the government. So they don't like the Trump right-wingers. They don't like the left-wingers. They don't like any kind of government the way it is right now. They don't like corporations. They don't like having rentals and landlords or anything like that. They want to get rid of all of that. They want to have free housing. I don't know if they want free food or whatever, but socialism, just socialism, and no businesses. Nobody can own a business. It's just all operated, as a kind of a collective, a socialist collective, and everybody owns everything and whatever. Maybe nobody works and everybody gets everything for free, but they don't have that great of a lifestyle type of a thing. But anyways, I saw that thing, which is kind of a little bit weird here. Yeah, and wokeness. Here's some woke people vandalizing some Teslas. You probably remember this stuff happening, the Tesla thing.
they return and quickly start keying the passenger door with a phone in the other hand.
You can tell in the video too, like they're actively starting to record, and they're recording the whole thing. You can easily tell this is a targeted, like there's intent there, and they, you know, kind of a mockery of it, right? With all the recording.
Seconds later, the vandal runs off. The owners, who asked to remain anonymous, notice the damage about a half hour later and say since then they have felt unsettled and somewhat fearful. By glances over at the car, and moments later they return and quickly start keying the passenger door with a phone in the other hand.
You can tell.
Okay, so you remember that stuff happening. That was your typical Antifa types doing that kind of vandalism. And yeah, more than just that, they do all kind of vandalism, and of course they don't like stuff like ICE and whatever. Federal agents unloaded tear gas on anti-ICE Antifa raiders in Portland. Here's a little clip here. These are all, they may not have happened yesterday or whatever, but this is just in the last couple of months, months or so that these clips, that these things actually happen here. So yeah, in Portland here, yeah, why are we even allowing this? Is what they say with this clip here. If you lock every single one of them up, they'll still stop obstructing. So this is actually something that happened before Antifa became a terrorist organization. So this is typical of what Antifa does in the United States. It's not quite as bad as this in Canada, but they have damaged, they have torched, they have done dastardly deeds all over North America, and they have not so much chapters, but they have individuals that call themselves Antifa and call other people fascists. But that's typically what they'll do, is they'll call you a fascist, they'll call you a Nazi, and they'll say, Nazis, you know, stay off our streets. And in this case, they don't like that ICE is rounding up illegal aliens, so they'll attack the ICE agents here at the ICE headquarters, wherever they might be in the States. This is Portland, Oregon. This is what the scene is like there. And this is why Trump is saying, you know what, he's had enough. He's had enough of this stuff. And Trump wants to see this kind of stuff stop. So for that reason, he's deemed Antifa as being a terrorist organization. And this kind of stuff has to stop. It's absolutely crazy that this kind of stuff has gone on for this long. You know, and if you look close, here they're doing it, and the police here, the ICE agents, are really not doing anything. They're just coming out, giving them the tear gas, whatever, and then you can see them slowly walking back into the building, because they never really had any power to do anything. It's like, well, if they're just standing there, they're not doing a whole bunch to them, and you know, like, they really have to be doing something illegal in order for them to make arrests. So they were kind of powerless as to what they could do. Also, the other thing is that even if they did arrest anyone, you know, they would end up being, you know, like, let out almost immediately. It's sickening. Antifa terrorists with Palestine flags harass post-millennial reporter Katie Davis Court outside of the Portland ICE facility is what this one here is about. So check this one out here. We'll just do a replay of it here.
Go home, Katie.
Go.
Go home,
Get the
Katie.
fuck out of here.
Go home, Katie.
You are not fucking welcome or safe here. Bye. Bye. You keep your fucking head to your
And they'll attack reporter.
fuck you. It's fucking night. It's fucking night, dude. You are gonna get fucked up. Then go. Fucking move quickly. Move quickly, then.
Go
Fucking
home.
move quickly.
Go home.
And you'll notice in the States that the leftists, the Antifa, the Islamists, and the LGBTQ community are pretty much all together. And they're part and parcel with the unions too. They work with the unions. So What they're trying to do is get the people that are in the unions to get on their side and to overthrow the government. That's in Canada and in the States. I'm not kidding you when I'm talking about this. Very few people are even talking about this or even know that there's a consortium of people that are contriving, and they even I've even heard of a date of 2028. 2028 is supposedly the year when they're gonna like do this overthrow, right? So they're just getting everything in motion for that to happen. So it's a good thing that Trump has made this thing, the terrorists, an illegal organization, the Antifa. Yeah, get the F out of here. Okay, so let me play another one here. I just had a few of them lined up here. Here's one showing we need the feds to go in areas in Portland as soon as possible. The city leaders have allowed roving street gangs to literally terrorize innocent people. It's gotten like out of hand. How much more evidence is needed before these cities are liberated? So yeah, here's another one here. Oh, maybe it's not going to play for me. Here we go.
I'm so sorry that you're threatened right now, but you could fucking dip. Nobody fucking wants you here. People like you should ever feel fucking safe, okay?
It's outside of the ICE facility. Gives her the finger.
I'm so sorry that you're threatened right now, but you could fucking dip. Nobody fucking wants you here. People like you should ever feel.
You know, like, look at this is middle of the day, and of course these people, these Antifa people, cover their faces because you know they don't want to go to jail. Obviously, they're not exactly stupid. Well, on the other hand, maybe they are, but they cover their faces so that their identities will be unknown, and yeah, do their dastardly deeds, and you know, pretty much the rest of it is history. There's not a whole bunch that people can do. But now they're going to start making arrests. Portland again here. Violent Antifa militants gathered to attack the ICE facility again. They threatened journalists for documenting the whole thing. They flash lights in the ICE faces. See the flashing lights. They use those kind of tactics. In this case here, they're against the person videoing them. But in this particular case, they are against ICE going after illegal aliens. So, like, they don't care. And if you notice that last thing that Trump was talking about at the UN, Trump was actually pointing out that the UN is actually funding, I think it was some big amounts. There was $600 million to you know, give cell phones and provide transportation and stuff like that, so that these aliens would head over to the United States and illegally enter the United States, and also countries like Canada and European Union countries. You know, and it's all a massive thing that is being paid for by the UN. So that Trump said there anyway, which yeah, you can see what's happening here is that it's true. Everything that's happening is true. And everyone is sitting around going, oh yeah, well, that's a good idea. Let the aliens come in, let the criminals come in, just let them take over our cities. And Antifa types love it. Like they want all these people to come in, because they need the forces in order to overthrow the governments of the world, right? And that's what they're up to. You know, you may not know this or may not think this, but, you know, just keep that in mind, who it is that's the bad guys in this world. It's the Antifa. It's the unions that are aligned with them. such as one of them that I've heard is UAW, for example. You've got the LGBTQ community is on their side because they really don't like the government. They think that they're being oppressed by the governments of the world. You've got the communists, you've got the Marxists. They're all the same thing. They're all working together, conspiring to take over the world, basically. And the Palestinian group is tied in with them as well. You can see the Palestinian flag and mask there. Good to see everyone in there. Abby is in there. Good to see you. Mama Red. Carol. Love a night. Troy.
Nobody gives a fuck what you're asking, Ryan.
They just said we're not safe anymore.
Can hear the rubber bullet gun there. That's ICE officials trying to disperse the crowd. They're fighting. It's just ridiculous. And this stuff, it seems like it's being sort of blown up here now, even now that Trump has made the Antifa terrorist organization. They're even more empowered to go out and do stuff. But on the other hand, it appears that lately the ICE agents are actually pulling one at a time the Antifa protesters in and making arrests. So this should be interesting to see what happens when they end up going to court, and the court says, you know what, you're a terrorist, so we're going to have to charge you as being a terrorist, and the penalties are going to be a lot harsher than just being out at a protest. It's not just a protest anymore. Yeah, Portland is a nice city. It's a nice city to visit, yeah. And I hear people saying that too. Oh yeah, Portland is so beautiful. It's so nice. You know? It's crazy. It's absolute craziness as to what's going on. And the world can definitely do better. There's no doubt about that. Yeah, these guys, I don't know.
It's been 90 days of protests at the ICE facility in Portland where tensions are high, neighborhoods resemble war zones, and the line between order and chaos is razor thin.
I'm Katie Davis Court reporting for the Post Millennial, and tonight I'm going behind the scenes with Homeland Security's Federal Protective Service, the officers who stand as our nation's first line of defense in protecting our federal buildings.
Well, we've had multiple assaults on federal officers ever since early June.
Well, our officers do a great job. Some of them work 24/7, especially on these protest activities.
Portland is unbelievable what's going on. These are paid terrorists, okay?
President Trump's border czar is promising increased immigration raids in sanctuary cities, and today he specifically called out Portland.
Seattle, all these sanctuary cities that refuse to work with ICE, where we know public safety threats are being released every day into this country, we're going to address that.
From lockdown perimeters and guillotines to arson attacks and assaults, I'm diving into the unfiltered reality of keeping the peace in one of America's most volatile hotspots.
Tonight, we have about 30 to 40 protesters outside. It's a pretty normal night.
A normal night. Jeez.
Well, so Federal Protective Service.
Hate to see an abnormal night.
Is to exactly that, is to protect the federal facility, protect the employees, protect visitors. We've been doing
And tell us a little bit about the protests.
So the protest, I mean, they're obviously the anti-immigration enforcement that's going on. And they started early June and slowly started to build. And we had a pretty heavy protest month in June, and then it's kind of stabilized out with, ebbs and flows. Sometimes we'll have busier nights than others. Number one, a lot of First Amendment protected activity. And then occasionally we'll have where it'll not be peaceable and we'll start having illegal activity that we have to, conduct enforcement on.
Yeah, you heard what you said. First Amendment protected activities. In other words, they're just protesters. That's all they are. It's just protesters, But the problem is that they go a little bit overboard and they start, with the graffiti and, they've got sticks and stuff like that. They throw rocks at the police. They do stuff like that where it gets a little bit out of hand. Plus, they'll be doing some kind of a protest, and then the cops will come out and say, well, this is an activity that is illegal, and read them the Riot Act and stuff like that, and they'll still continue to do what they're doing. So that's at the point where it becomes an illegal activity, and then the cops can actually do something about it. But like I say, they, up until this moment in time, even if they arrest them, it's like they have the money already ready, they have the lawyers already ready, and really nothing much happens to them other than they're just back out on the streets pretty much the next day. So it's Trump had to do something.
What are you looking for that isn't peaceful for you guys to go out and start dispersing the crowd?
Well, if we have anything that would impede operations of the building, so our vehicle ramp and gate, if we can't get vehicles in and out.
So why are we speeding out so fast?
To prevent anyone from tailing us or any of the protesters in the area to get close and possibly do some damage. And then, assaults, things like that, when protests do get a little bit violent.
You guys aren't just dispersing a peaceful crowd?
No, we certainly would not disperse a peaceful crowd.
And we embrace the First Amendment rights, absolutely. But when it becomes violent and it impedes on that peaceful protest, then that's when our officers take action.
Now, you guys have been dealing with these protests for 4 months now, you said. How's the officers' morale?
Overall morale's good. Obviously it does wear on morale to, pretty much take constant verbal abuse and beratement. That's part of their First Amendment right. We don't have to like what they say, but that can wear on the officers, being called obscene.
Well, Sandy, either you're on the side where you think that illegal aliens are great for your country and okay, and that they should be living amongst you and, doing some dastardly deeds, raping and stealing and whatever, all of the crime that you see all over the place. Either you're okay with that, or you believe that there should be personnel like ICE to round up the bad guys and turf them out of the country.
Names, racist names. Oh, racism was a big one. And it's, oftentimes we'll pick out, minority officers and they'll get extra attention for verbal abuse.
You get that! You get that! Really? Hey, black cops trying to act out for the white cops, man!
And so that does wear on people, but unfortunately, it's part of the job. We don't react to it and just, move on and conduct our mission.
So, they're racist. Antifa is racist. Right there.
Well, our officers
pick out on the black guy.
Job. Some of them were 24/7, especially on these protest activities and on these operations. So I think it's important to hype them up and say, great work, great job, FPS. Thank you for protecting our facilities and our public, and our protesters all equally are protected. So they're doing a great job, and we appreciate you giving us the opportunity to thank them.
What are the hours like here?
They are 12-hour shifts, but we're there 24/7. Yeah, we're here 24/7. They just
hit that thumbs up.
Yes. I wouldn't say they were tired. They're
only have 14.
Hit
that thumbs up button.
All our men and women, they're outstanding. and they do their job. And the ICE personnel as well. I mean, they're here with us.
Dedicated.
And dedicated professionals. And again, we also support, the protesters exercise their First Amendment rights. I mean, it goes both ways. But we just
Not anymore.
And we'll keep doing it as long as we have to.
So tell us a little about the
Because it doesn't matter who you are. Well, actually, it does. It'll matter who you are. But if you're Antifa out on the streets doing stuff like this, it's not going to be your First Amendment rights anymore. It's going to be Antifa. If you're a terrorist organization out there protesting on the streets, it's probably going to be deemed as being your an illegal person out there in the streets, and then they're going to come out there and arrest you.
Property from Monday night. It was rolled out as part of the protest, and then after the crowd left, it was left in the middle of the street. So we removed it and brought it in until the rightful owner comes to claim it.
So how long have you been working here?
So I've been with FPS for over 4 years, but with the federal government for over 20.
And what made you become attracted to this job?
The mission. I believe in the mission. I believe in everything that FPS does. I definitely believe in being a public servant. So absolutely, I'm here to serve the public.
And
basically, it's like me. What they do is they call you like a Nazi white supremacist. And like me, you have to end up going, yeah, okay, I'm a Nazi. I'm a white supremacist. I'm a fascist, whatever. Yeah, I am. So don't bother calling me that, because I am that. And so what if I am? Big deal. It's the left, the Antifa, the communists, basically they're the fascists, but they're the ones calling us the fascists, So that's what we have to become. We have to go, okay, own it. Call me that. I don't care. It doesn't bother me to say that. You can say that fascists get off our streets or whatever all day long. I don't give a shit. You're the bad guys, and you're the ones that should be rounded up and turfed in jail. And the same thing in Canada. We have to, in Canada, deem Antifa as a terrorist organization. We have to contact your MP and, get them to write some kind of a bill or something, send it to Parliament so that it becomes an actual thing.
Would you recommend this job?
I absolutely would. It is very rewarding. And for anyone that wants to be in public service and give back, FPS is the place to be.
And what kind of talent are you trying to attract?
Somebody that's really interested in protecting the rights of people, protecting law and order, and that are really passionate about law enforcement. We are going up to the roof so that you can see the vantage point that a lot of our officers have for the protesters.
And the roof, what do they do on the roof?
The Ravens have come.
What kind of crimes have you witnessed?
Well, we've had multiple assaults on federal officers ever since early June. We've had a lot of damage done to the building. Not so much damage done recently, but in the early days in June, we had quite a bit of damage, and that's why we put up all the plywood all over the windows.
Look at all that damage.
We did have, in early June, the attempted breach of the building where they actually tried to break in and smash the doors open. Generally, it's a lot of, just failure to obey. They'll come onto federal property and we'll ask multiple times, we'll use our LRAD or verbal warnings asking people to depart federal property. And then after numerous warnings, if they don't, we'll address it. And that's when, we'll take enforcement action.
And are these protesters out here every night?
We've had, since June, every single night, we've had protesters.
Quit your job! Quit your job! Quit
And how can people get involved with FPS?
We would love for people to join our agency. So
Oh, that-
go to our website and you can
That drunk wagons
become an FPS officer.
that they ride just went by my front window here.
Protective Service. Tonight we witnessed dedicated officers standing firm.
The ones that they pedal. The pedal cart with all the drunks on it just went by.
This federal property and putting it all on the line while navigating an unpredictable,
Not to mention the crow.
volatile situation. As the protests show no signs of stopping, with demonstrators vowing to continue their stand, this story is far
Yeah, look to the left. Yeah.
right now. We are
You'll see their attackers.
and mindful of the challenges still ahead.
And shame on the left, on the Democrats, for just plain closing their eyes and allowing this. It's like, is the Democrat Party and the Democrats because of them allowing this and not doing anything about it, do they actually want to see the crumbling, the downfall of society? There's that cart going by there. It went that way now. What the hell's going on? Everything. I'm getting so much traffic by the house here. It's ridiculous. But the crow is out there. We're getting Crow City down here. And yeah, craziness for sure. Let's get this one in here. Here's another one here. Shorty. Domestic terrorists. Finally, there's some of them are getting arrested. There they go. Take them in. Get them in. Get them in. Here's another one here.
Help! Assault! Get up! Get up!
This is them attacking journalists. That's a journalist that you're seeing being attacked by an Antifa person there, wearing a pirate's hat, of all things.
Help!
Yeah, craziness. Back to the birds again here. I'll just use that as my go-to. Here we go. Tear gas being used at Antifa. What a shame. Like I say, if you have to understand the whole concept, okay? And believe it or not, there is an Antifa handbook. There's an Antifa handbook, and there are a few things that I was actually yesterday, I was looking into the handbook, and I was going to do a search on it to find the Antifa handbook, and then to go over it with you as to exactly what those things are in the handbook. But they absolutely want to overthrow the government, right? They want to get rid of like any kind of a housing type thing. You're not going to be able to own your own house. You won't have a landlord. You can't rent a place. It'll just be the government that'll own all the housing. You're going to buy your food from the government. There won't be any businesses at all. They want to get rid of all that. They just want to get rid of all authority. The way democracy is set up right now with corporations, companies, and where you can own your own business and stuff like that. No, they don't like that at all. They just want it to be what you'll hear the terms collective, a collective of the people. You hear them using terms like folks. Hey, folks. If you hear the term folks with the way people are talking, you know that they're an Antifa type Marxist person. They'll be using terms like comrade. If you hear anyone saying the word comrade, you know for sure that they're in with those lefty people, and they'll all hang around together on that side of the fence. They'll form different channels. They'll all hang out in those channels. Like live TV, for example. Will be one place that they'll hang out. By the way, Al Munson, how did you like that video I did there yesterday? I found that. I don't know. I must have wrote that on that bench. Look at my last short, and you'll see there's that thing where it's scrawled out onto the restaurant there where it says Al Munson sucks. And I don't even remember writing that, but that must be from years ago. And I just happened to sit down there again and I noticed it. So I had to have a chuckle at that. And I couldn't resist doing a video on it there. But, you guys that embrace this kind of stuff, you don't understand how bad communism is. And, you must not have ever traveled to or lived in or seen any kind of a communist country to understand how bad living under Marxism, communism is. Now, I've been to places, especially before the Eastern Bloc. The Eastern Bloc was all communist. So if you would have visited any countries in the Eastern Bloc, like before the time that the Berlin Wall fell, okay, before that moment in time, to go into a communist country and see what it was like, you would see that the people wanted to get the hell out of there. They were trying so hard to leave those countries. And it was definitely not a good situation. I didn't like being in there. I felt like, geez, I better not do anything bad or I'll end up in the Gestapo and never get the hell out of here. It's not good. It wasn't a good feeling at all. It wasn't good to see how those people lived, and just terrible. Just look at this. You really want this in your city? These people they're idiotic. Antifa, they're fighting to keep illegal people in the country, for God's sakes. How ridiculous is that? Only somebody that's brainwashed would be in favor of that. And really, they're fighting the people that are trying to keep the borders closed and keep the illegals out and to move the illegal people out of the country. But no, these people want the illegals to stay. Like, how idiotic is that? It doesn't get any worse than that. Why do you think Trump, at least Trump has the balls to do something. You have to give him credit for that, And people go, oh yeah, well, Tommy Temper's a Trumpster, or, and you guys will go on other chats where I happen to be and call me out for being, like a supporter of Trump. I don't like everything that Trump does. It's just like any politician. You might like somebody that's on the left if you're a leftist, whatever, and there are some things that are good that politicians do. And but Trump, with looking after this particular issue and making Antifa a terrorist organization, and to hell with this bullshit that you guys say, well, they're not an organization. They're an organization. They have a handbook. They have protocol. They all have pep talks and stuff like that of how to dress and what to do, and have a card on them that says, here, contact this lawyer that's working to get you out of jail. And they have funding coming in. It's the George Soros thing. There was a time when I recall a couple of years back where you couldn't try and say that George Soros really was funding anything in the world. And now pretty much everyone knows that George Soros and this one world order is the one that's kind of behind this whole thing. And the way that his idea of the one world order is going to happen is by funding guys like Antifa. That's what it was all about. And in the States, they did absolutely get funded. In Canada, I don't know if they're being funded by them. Like I said, people that I know that are part of Antifa in Canada here that I have talked to, kind of joke and say, well, you guys all think that we're funded by George Soros. And they go, no, we're not funded. We're not funded at all. We're not funded by anybody. They're just plain, they don't like society. They don't like capitalism. They're, they've been brainwashed by the Marxist side of things, and they just don't like anything, right? So they'll go out and get drunk or whatever, and whatever protest that they can get involved in that's going to be against anyone from the right. Their idea is to brandish anybody on the right as being fascist, as being a white supremacist, and to try and if there's any kind of a far right organization, to try and brand anyone that is at all on that side of the protest line as being that particular thing. So, for example, if it's the Proud Boys, if you're at all anywhere close to where those guys are, well, then you're a Proud Boy, or any other far right organization. So they typically will do stuff like that, and yeah, it's an actual thing. And a lot of people don't know anything about this. Really, I didn't know anything about it. I was like oblivious to it, oblivious to what was actually going on around us. And really, there's not a lot of them, right? Like in any particular city, like here in Edmonton, for example, I would say that there's maybe, like 20 to 30 people that are like, heavy into it, into the Marxism, Antifa type stuff, And it's not the whole city, that's for sure. But it's the same thing like in Portland. Well, Portland, you might have maybe 100, maybe a couple hundred people there. So every major city is going to have, the bigger the city, the more the numbers are going to be. And you can see it by the number of people that actually go out to the protests and stuff like that. But it is an actual thing. They have organizations, they have websites that they represent. Like, for example, in Canada, Antifa runs a website called Anti-Hate, right? Which, like, come on. People like this running a website that's called Anti-Hate. They're the ones that hate. They're the ones that bring about the hate. They're the ones that are anti-government. They're the ones that are trying to overthrow the government, right? And the way they do it is they make sites like that make them squeaky clean and make them seem like the good guy, right? But Anti-Hate in itself is run by people that are Antifa, that are part of the Antifa group, the organization. And they are an organization. Don't let Biden fool you into thinking that they're not, because Biden stood up there with the debates with Trump and said, Antifa is not a thing. Oh, yeah. Show me again that Antifa is not a thing. Show me again. What kind of bullshit is that? Antifa is not a thing. No, they're not organized at all. There's no organization to what they're doing. They're like just each man to himself. I don't think so. The dude, good to see you. Yeah, not to mention, Anti-Hate gets government money. Trudeau funded them. That's why the Liberals are in there with Antifa. They're funding Antifa. Absolutely. I'm not lying to say that. That's why shame on the Liberals for giving money to Anti-Hate that's run by Antifa. Everybody knows that. They're a menace. They're terrorists. Absolutely. Yeah. You got that right, Grandma. Dasha and Grandma in the house. Looking good. Looking good. Okay, in with the next clip here. Nighttime. Another Antifa militant has been arrested. This is in Eugene, Oregon. They're going down.
Why are you spraying people? They're just hurting you.
There they go. Yeah, There they go, one at a time. So that's what's happening here lately. These are just clips, from whatever. Like that's September the 23rd, as a matter of fact, the date on that one. So what's happening now is that they're actually picking them off. They're picking off the Antifa at these Antifa riots one at a time, and that's now really happening. It's a happening thing. So glad to see that in the States. I want to see something happen in Canada. We have to make this group, the funny part about it is that in Canada, they went and made the Proud Boys an illegal terrorist organization, which I've yet to see what exactly the Proud Boys were up to. I never saw them actually fight with the police. I never saw them do any kind of a protest. But I think the Proud Boys were maybe somehow covertly, talking about taking over the government. Well, Antifa has been talking about taking over the government for years and years and years and years, right? Ever since, when did they come along? 2015 or 2017 or something like that, that Antifa has kind of resurfaced again after World War II. Now, I think the Antifa group was against Hitler, right? Anti-fascist, right? So it probably evolved as a group to be against Hitler, right? And that's why they call people Nazis and stuff like that, right? So that whole anti-fascist thing has evolved to where they are now a group of people that are against anyone that is right-wing. So if you're a right-winger, if you're a Republican, they're absolutely against you. Keep in mind that they're against Democrats as well, but they just don't make that obvious because the Democrats are kind of in bed with them there. And the same thing in Canada. You've got the NDP party, you've got the unions, you've got the LGBTQ community, you've got the Marxists, you've got the communists, and you got the Antifa. And they're all together. They all work together, and they're all working together to forward their common goal. And I believe the liberals as well, because the liberals are actually funding anti-hate. Tell me I'm wrong. And, even the chat knows that. Crazy, but true. Now, the way that I got kind of involved in this, which I never really got involved with it, but involved in watching what's going on, is that I was watching what was happening in Oregon there a couple of years back when Biden was still in power, even before the first time that Trump got in. Like, if you look at before the first time that Trump was in, you had Antifa doing exactly the same thing that you see here, except it wasn't against ICE. It was more against, I don't know, just all over in Oregon. They'd be at a Starbucks or at the mayor's high-rise building or stuff like that. That's where they would be protesting and causing a bunch of trouble. And, I started watching them and started going, well, geez, what is this Antifa organization? Or, well, back then it wasn't, they were all, they always try and say, no, we're not an organization. Antifa is not a real organization. It's not a real thing. It's, it's all fake. It's all just a bunch of people that are, pissed off with the government or whatever, No, but they do have a common goal. They absolutely do have a common goal: to overthrow the government, right? So if the government is going to be afraid of anyone, especially in Canada, listen up, Canadians, it's going to be Antifa that is trying to overthrow the Canadian government. So if you want to deem any group as being a terrorist organization, it absolutely is going to be Antifa. Well, you know, Edward Cam, a common goal to stand up against fascism. Yeah. And it's like, I'm standing here and you're standing there. You're Antifa. So, regardless of who I am, you don't like me. So, you're going to call me a fascist. You're going to call me a Nazi. And you're going to say, you fascist Nazi, get off my streets. Right. Even though I'm not a fascist, I'm just a right wing guy that doesn't like the left wing communist, Marxist, Antifa types, right? So that's how it works, you know. So yeah, you can call me a fascist all day long. You can call me a white supremacist. You can call, you know, and they use all of those same terms, right? And that's what it's all about. They call you, and that's why you hear you hear it all the times that the lefties are more prone to be calling people names, and those are the exact names: a racist, a fascist, you know, a Nazi, you know, like all of those things. And really, that's all that you have going for you. You know, like what? Am I any of those things? No, I'm not any of those things. Not any of those. But it's going to be the Antifa that are going to call people that. And what else? What am I going to call you? I don't call you anything other than Antifa, right? Well, you're just a stupid Antifa, and you're just trying to get rid of government. So who is it that's standing up for government? Well, it's the right wingers. It's the patriots that are standing up for government, standing up for democracy, standing up for the life that we're leading. And the people on the left are going, no, you're a white supremacist, racist, fascist piece of shit, whatever, you know. And no, we're not. But at the end of the day, you are going to be the terrorist that's going to be locked up in jail for doing what you're doing to try and overthrow government. That's what's going to happen. That's where this will all end up. So, yeah, I love the day when somebody knocks on your door for your writings on social media, for the stuff that you're spouting off on social media, promoting Antifa and calling people fascists and stuff like that. Like, that'll be very telltale. Anybody that's out there calling anyone else a fascist, well, guess what? You'll be deemed as being Antifa, and yeah, you'll be seeing a judge. You'll be going to court. Yeah, well, if there's somebody with a wrench in here, let me know who it is, and I'll take their wrench away. Yeah, she's crazy. It's crazy, the world that we live in. Look close at who they are. Look at what they look like. These are not the hardworking people of the world. These are the crazies. These people are crazy, absolutely lunatic. You know, it's got all kind of different purple hair and whatever. Yeah, you can tell right away who they are. The lunatic fringe.
We appreciate the media, we value their service to benefit that we need to document what's happening here. We just ask for the audience to say what it's great.
Sorry, but we have to clear the idiots off the streets. We have to do it. We have to get them out of society. Maybe there should be a Guantanamo for for Antifa. Now we're talking.
Fucking be here with your fucking iPhone.
And they will absolutely go after anyone with a camera that's not with them. So you have to be very careful. It's, in fact, it's not even safe to go to a protest with people flying the Antifa flag and with their little umbrellas and bullshit like that. And you know what? You know what? I've actually gone to a protest and being poked by somebody with an umbrella at a protest. Personally by Antifa, right? With their stupid little umbrellas there. They use that as a weapon to poke you. They, supposedly, go, oh, well, we're not going to allow you to video any of our crap or whatever, and here's the umbrella. And then they start coming close to you. They start invading your space and start poking you with their umbrella, which, like I said, I have been personally poked by an umbrella. That's why I'm a little more vocal than the average person here, because I know what the hell is going on. I've been to protest. I've been accosted by Antifa types. There was even one protest where an Antifa dude grabbed my hat off of me and went running away with my hat, right? And this was at a Trudeau thing. It was a Trudeau rally where Trudeau came to Edmonton, and the Antifa saw me there and grabbed my hat and ran away with it. The cops actually saw the thing happen. They ran after the guy. They tackled the guy on the ground. They roughed him up, and they were putting him into the back of a paddy wagon. And they asked me, "Do you want to press charges against him?" And I thought, I'm not going to press charges against the guy. Like, these people are just idiots. They're just stupid. They're trying to take over the world and whatever. You think that stealing my hat, Tommy Temper, do you think that that's going to change the world? Well, no. And likewise, am I going to, press charges against a guy for stealing my hat? Well, no. Maybe I should have. It probably would have done harm to that guy with him on his next job application or something then if you've ever been convicted of theft or whatever. But, I'm not that dastardly of a person to steal somebody's stuff and, in that case to charge him for doing that. But, that's why I'm talking about this, because I've had personal experience. And you know what? I'm not in Portland, Oregon. I'm not in Seattle, Washington. I'm not in Washington, D.C. I'm in the middle of nowhere up here in northern Canada. Edmonton is the largest city this far north anywhere in the world. But still, we have our little contingency of Antifa that does shit. They try and smear you. They phone your business where you work at. On the convoy, they phoned ahead. Guess what they did on the convoy? On the convoy, they phoned ahead to motels and told the motels, oh, don't rent to these guys because these guys are racist, they're fascist, they're blah, 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 the whole thing. So that when you arrived at the motel that you've already booked, the motel would go, oh, we're not going to rent to you because, we had a whole bunch of people phoning us here telling us that you guys are racist or whatever, And, it's like that kind of doxing type stuff that they do. And they also, their manual tells them to dox, but don't tell anyone that they doxed you. So that's another big thing that they do is doxing. They really, really love doxing to try and humiliate you, to phone your place of business to where you work, and to, say that you're a bad person, you're a fascist, a racist, whatever, misogynist. Like all of those lefty terms is what they do. So thank God Trump has deemed these guys as being terrorists. Thank God. Even though I'm not that religious, I'll say it. Because they deserve it. And I will be liking it when I see these people in jail. Every time I see a video where ICE or whatever government agency, the police or whatever, are grabbing somebody and charging them, it'll be just joy. Yeah, she's nice looking. Okay, that being said, thanks a lot for watching us today, for me today. This is the Tommy Temper Show. We're the guy. We're the guy. And either you're the nice guy or you're the troll. Yeah. I appreciate you being with us here. We'll do it again. By the way, I was CJ. Thanks a lot for that super chat there the last time, and anybody else that super chatted me the last time there or other times. I was looking to see when I don't go live, I make as little as 1 cent on my videos from people watching my videos to a couple of bucks or whatever. So I do make at least 1 cent from people watching my videos. So wow, it's worth it in the end. I can buy a bubble gum. I can buy a bubble gum from people watching my videos. But I gotta go and assemble my e-bike because my electric bike did arrive, and it's gonna be fun putting it together. And I'm gonna go for a bike ride here right away, and it should be good. I should actually do an unboxing and an assembly, but yeah, this is not an e-bike channel, so wouldn't go over well. We ought to do more stuff like this here. But anyways, catch y'all later. Take care. Stay out of trouble. And if you can't stay out of trouble, don't join up with Antifa. And stop calling people fascist, and racist, and stuff like that. Don't wake up in the morning wondering who you can call out, because it's just not worth it at the end of the day, okay? Try and go for maybe a better world, right? We need a better world. Maybe have lower food prices, lower rents, lower cost of, maybe everyone should be able to buy a house and have a family and live a fine lifestyle rather than going backwards and going to communism or socialism or crap like that. Those are the dark times, right? We want to live in a bright country with lots of fun. Have fun, everyone. Bye-bye.
The show you gotta see, Tommy Temper is the guy. Ask yourself the question why. Conspiracy theories swirl around. Trolls are everywhere, they abound. It's the show you gotta see, Tommy Temper is the guy. Ask yourself the question why. Conspiracy theories swirl around. Trolls are everywhere, they abound. It's the show you gotta see, Tommy Temper is the guy. Ask yourself the question why. Conspiracy theories swirl around. Trolls are everywhere, they abound. It's the show you gotta see, Tommy Temper is the guy. Ask yourself the question why. Conspiracy theories swirl around. Trolls are everywhere, they abound. It's the show you gotta see. Tommy Temper is the guy. Ask yourself the question why. Conspiracy theories swirl around. Trolls are everywhere, they abound. It's the show you gotta see, Tommy Temper is the guy. It's the show you gotta see, Tommy Temper is the guy. Ask yourself the question why. Conspiracy theories swirl around. Trolls are everywhere, they abound. It's the show you gotta see, Tommy Temper is the guy.